I've called him and flashed out. And most people, oh, he Jay tattoos, whatever. He don't care. He be like, you bipolar. Big homie called me bipolar, bro. I said, what? I'm not bipolar, dog. This one's anticipated for real. For real. Everybody that know me know that. I'm in real estate. Just became a realtor like last year. Got into development after Airbnb. It's been a nightmare until I met probably the most influential man in my life today. My mentor. I go on a ramble about this dude. Done more for me than a lot of men in my life. Ron, what's the deal, baby?
What's going on, man?
Yeah. You on the pod. You on the pod, bro.
I'm in the building.
Yo, like, I don't even know where to start. Like I said, we freestyle this. We just
start wherever you want
we just
to
let
start.
it flow.
You know, we do this every day, so.
But I'm a try to keep us some sort of structure, because this dude is the truth. From losing, I don't even want to tell your story. I'm gonna let you tell it. But start where you from. You know what I'm saying? How everything came about. Like, let's start there.
So I grew up in California, Watts, California, and grew up, just a kid wanting to do more, man. I just knew it was something different. I was on, when you're a kid growing up in the hood, you watch a lot of TV. So I used to watch TV and be like, man, where them people at? Because I had never left the hood. But the first time I did get a chance to really, when I was of age, I was like 13, 14, I was on my way to, unfortunately, juvenile hall. And I was like, man, look how these people live with cars and that. And from that day on, I just started reading and studying because I knew it was a different way. And from there, I just elevated my life. It just changed everything that I did. I just would listen to, back then, what y'all say? Do they even know what a cassette is?
Hey, don't do my generation like that, bro. Yeah. Some of us was born in the 90s. How many we know?
Yeah, now y'all just, push and play. But we had to physically put something in a deck and play it. And that's what I did after I moved to Arizona. I just kind of played tapes all day, every day.
And this is like motivational,
Motivational, self-help, everything. Just always that. And it's like, I just reprogrammed myself with it. Then, on top of that, reading books and stuff like that. And that's how I really changed it. I just kind of skipped over a lot of parts because it's like, to me, that ain't important. What's important is where I'm at now. But that's an important part of my life, where I came from and how I just kind of did this. But how I did it was just basically self-help.
Well, I think it's important to, obviously, we don't got to go into the details of.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you smart enough, he from Watts, California, bro. So you can imagine what goes on in Watts, California in the 80s and the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Similar to myself, you come up in that, and you don't have a lot of hope if you don't take that, that turn. Because when I tell you who he is now, like, listen, bro, a lot of y'all see me, and y'all see the BMW and the Airbnb downtown and the development, and you like, oh, he killing. But what you don't understand is that when I meet this man, he on me like, well, why you ain't buy a house before you got the BMW? Like, you did it back. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That,
Like, so, but this is the reason I can cling on to it, because y'all that know, we really from the hood. We really caught the phase. We really seen the put-ons. He really from Watts. Jordan Downs, Watts, real life. So talk to the people about how do you change that mentality when your whole environment. I had my last podcast, OG, I was talking about growing up with a black father.
Yeah, I seen
so thing is, like, you didn't have necessarily a male role model to show you.
I did.
Okay.
I did. So I don't mean to cut you off.
Good,
so what happened with me in that sense, when I was in the projects, running around as a kid, I had a lot of people telling me, you different. You know what I mean? Don't do this, don't do that. Like, So I had a lot of fathers, but they wasn't biological fathers. They was uncles, cousins, and friends in the neighborhood. Some of them I still talk to right now. Like, I was always gravitating towards the older dudes. So that's where I learned a lot of game from. Like the older dudes, don't do this, don't do that. I happened to just listen to them. It was a part of my life where I wasn't listening to them. That's when I was in and out of jail. But they would always tell me, you're going to mind somebody. You won't listen to me. You're going to listen to somebody one day. And when I landed up, crossed up and, juvenile and all that, I'm like, that's what they was talking about. I got to listen to these people. I cannot not listen. So, I learned my lesson early. But that was a big part of it, though. A lot of people telling me, they basically knew me before I knew who I was. So that was really one of the keys, though.
When you started listening to like the development books or the tapes, you know what I'm saying? The development tape. How did you gauge what direction to go to? Because what I'm seeing right now is a ton of my homies is like every time they try to, and I'm guilty of this. We didn't have plenty of conversations where I'm like, I'm doing everything right. I did everything that the man said to do. I did everything. Like, I ain't cheat. I ain't cut no corners. I ain't play around. I did exactly what was said to do. But I keep hitting these walls where to the point where it's just feel like maybe it ain't meant for me to win. Maybe all this shit designed for me to just, I'm not even gonna make it. I'm not even going. I want to give up. I want to quit. It's over with. How did you? Because you really got parts of the story that you didn't say, and I don't want to say them for you, but you didn't seen some walls where it's like,
yeah,
it ain't.
Well, but see, I come from a different era, and I love being around you, your young energy. I love that. But you have to understand this, man. All that's fine, all the hard head stuff, but this is the number one thing. You got to get your mindset right, bro, and make the right choices. Like, let's just say you follow something to the letter, right? And you like, this is the right way. No, bro, that's not it. Your mindset. When you following something to the letter, your mind have to be ready for correction. So as you follow, nothing is in a straight line. That's the first issue. So you thinking it's a straight path to where you're going. Nah, bro, it's zigzags. You know what I mean? It's bumps in the road. It's highs, it's lows, it's all that. But what you have to do is have your mindset right and know the choice that you made is the right one. Like you say, don't fold. I say don't fold and roll, right? You got to keep rolling with it, man. You can't just think I'm not folding. You still got to roll, though. You can't just, you know what I mean, start. So I added that to his little thing because we be talking every day. But it's like, that's what it is, bro. Like, when you make that choice, not only do you have to be committed to not folding, bro, you got to be willing to adjust and pivot at the drop of a dime because like I know this last 2 years, we've been pivoting all the time.
Boy.
And the main thing is, this is what stops us. Like, when you make that transition, I remember when I made that transition out the neighborhood, it was the money. Like, man, these people want what? For a notebook and some tapes. Yeah. Bro, that knowledge, everything I've purchased self-help wise, it has built me. Like in the early stages, it was like when I was just listening to the tapes, I was wondering like, man, I'm just listening to this stuff every day. My kids mad at me. I won't let them play music in the car when they driving with me. But at the same time, I was reprogramming my mind. So now my mind is just real strong. Like I know this stuff is possible. Then going to the seminars and all of that just compounded it because now I'm seeing other people doing what I want to do. That's the key. You got to get around people who doing what you want to do and have the right person to guide you and help you. Now, that might cost money. You might get lucky like Jae. I just seen Jae in one of my classes and was like, this dude live close to me. He really got it. He grinding. I can see he grinding, but I can see where I can help him too. Because people ain't going to help you 9 times out of 10 at the beginning. Like he had bought Airbnb. He had did all this stuff, BMW, all that stuff before he met me. Now, had he met me, I could have guided him a different way. But the one thing that's special about Jae, he listened. That was the whole key. Like when I met him, I'm just watching him to see if he gonna listen. I'm like, because I don't want to tell nobody nothing because I don't know everything, but I do know how to get out of certain situations. So once he listened, that's what happened. And so for the guys who just like stuck and thinking this, that, and the other, bro, you got to pivot and keep pushing. That's really the bottom line, man.
When you say that you had the bread, I see a lot of times the homies is not even necessarily the homies, just people in general. Even like my little homies, like
Yeah.
it's this similar to the situation I was in, where I followed it to the T, and understanding what you said is the mindset has to be you gotta. It's not linear. It's like zigzag, right? But when you at a point where you like, okay, I've been dealing with this. I've been dealing with, like, and everybody's situation is different. Some people got, crazy.
But it's all the same. This is the reason why I say it's the same. You're right. Everybody's situation is different. But once you change your mindset, bro, you know what you're going for, right? We all trying to get money, right? So it's the same in that context. So if we all trying to get money, bro, and you run into something that's a problem, you don't go and look at somebody else and be envious, bro. You go to where, let's say you don't have no money and you start and you trying to do this, you trying to do this. You can look, man, I came up with no internet. Yeah. So y'all got the internet. Y'all can look at stuff, bro, and just get your mind flowing, get your creative going. The problem is everybody wants something right now without putting that work in, bro. The work got to be done, whether you like it or not. You can't look at something on the internet like, man, they got it yesterday.
They was gonna hand you $200.
If they show the stories behind that, like, and if you want to, you can start breaking down some of the stuff we've been doing last 2 years, bro. This stuff take time. You can't just look at that like it just happened, bro. That's the problem. That's the biggest problem that me and this young man work on daily. Like, bro, the instant gratification, you got to get rid of that, bro.
I think too. So what he's referring to is the last couple of podcasts I've talked about this development we have going up in Whitman. So for y'all that have followed me, we bought the land, was that 2 years ago?
Yeah.
2 years ago.
2 years ago, man.
So I bought the land and I made a mistake because I financed it. So I put down the down payment because in my brain I was like, oh, well, I could take some of the remaining of the bread, put it towards the soft cost. For y'all that don't know what that is, it's like the permitting to build, just all the stuff that is the beginning stages to start building a home. I didn't know that to use the land as collateral, you got to own it outright, because I'm following other people's guidance, and this is what I was referring to thinking you did everything to the T, not accounting for the pivoting. Luckily for me, I'm not even gonna say luckily, I was blessed enough to for Ron to find me in the spot I was at and been able to guide me, because these last 2 years I've wanted to fold almost every single day. Like any sort of problem, I've called over 350 lenders. They've all said no. I've gotten this close to closing before. They've said no. You need to come with this type of money. You need more money here. Mind you, I got 3 kids. I got a wife. I got a dog. I got a house payment. I got a high-ass car payment. I got all these other things that I've still been on top of because I'm a hustler. And it is what it is. I'm going to make the money. But every single month is like, I'm done. Like, I don't want to, like, I've had so many thoughts of, like, I called him one time and I said, OG, I'm about to just sell this lot. And he said, damn, you done put in all this money, you gonna just sell it? Like, so there's a meaning to holding the line that I don't feel like I fully grasped as a young man until I came across somebody like Ron, who's, lost millions of dollars in real estate and, has still been able to navigate and come back. Look at my computer turning on, and come back and figure it out. So I guess in that terms of like wanting it right now, I think sometimes what happens is, especially for my generation, is we've had trials of periods where we've fought to do something. Like for me, like I've been chasing the real estate, and before I was in real estate, I had clothing lines, I did music, I was in the military, like I did all these other things, and every time we started chasing something, it was like this wall that was like I can't move. For example, when I had qualified, that was a fitness clothing apparel line I was coming out with. I spent like $5,000. And I get, I got the website up, I got the social media, I got everything. I got a bodybuilder named Robert Timms. He put the stuff on, got it going crazy in different countries, like all this, right? I get my shorts from somewhere in China. Half of my shorts are burnt where the branding is. I'm like, I can't sell these shorts, but I had used all of my bread. So now I'm like, I'm done. I can't do nothing. Like, you see what I'm saying? And it's not knowing, not having a Ron to be like, hey, bro, you got to think your way through this. Like you tell me, not getting out of line. They don't even know, but I'm going to let him tell you about getting out of line. But
So as I listen to your story, man, all that sound good, bro, but you didn't have a mentor. Had you had a mentor, again, it go back to the money. Like sometimes mentors cost money, but not all the time, because most of the time when somebody see you and you grinding, it ain't even about money. Like me and Jae didn't meet on money. I met him based on me knowing that I can help him to get to the next level. That's really what it was. Now, people might think like, man, he questioned it sometimes. Like, man, OG, you ain't even got to do this. Like, yes, I do, man. It's like, you got to understand, I've been in your position. And I'm not far from we really one in the same. So it's like, we all trying to get a leg up. So if I know you trying to go through a door I already been through, I'm going to just let you know, man, just go that way. Keep going up the stairs. That's just the way it is. Now, that's very important. But nowadays, you look for a mentor, 5,000, 10,000, 15, 20, 60,000. That throws you off. But again, it go back to your mindset. Nothing should throw you off for the simple fact that even if you don't have the say 1,000 for a mentor, right? You get on your grind, man, and you do what you're supposed to do. That's where it go back to the don't fold. You just stay with what you're doing and just keep doing what you're doing, because what's the alternative?
crashing out.
And be asked out. But we don't crash out. We cash out over here.
Bang.
So it's like we on something different, bro. Like, oh, that's cool. We 100% men. We family men, all that. But at the end of the day, bro, we got to cash out. That's old news, all that crashing out. But anyway, at the end of the day, it's your mindset, and you just have to put yourself in position. Like, and what I mean by that is if you don't have no money, man, they have seminars coming to the town every month, 2-3 times a month. Are you paying attention to that? Man, go to them free events. Even though they're going to sell you whatever, go there, man, and network with people. At least you're around people doing what you do. I done been to seminars with no money and talking to a dude. He like, hey, man, I'm going to buy this course. Man, I see you know what's going on. Okay, buy it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Man, we done made money together, and I didn't have no money. It's your environment. If you're going to constantly try to do something that's outside of your environment, guess what? You got to get uncomfortable and get in another environment that's uncomfortable. And you don't want to be the smartest person in the room. Regardless of what the new way of thinking is, you still want to be the person who's striving to be somebody in that room, or not be nobody, but actually, have the similar things that they have if this lining up with your goals. And you just got to know what your goals are, man. If this lined up with it, man, just stick with it. It's going to happen, because you're looking at, I got 25, 30 years at this shit. Like, I took a 15-year break. This shit got so hectic on me. So it's like, it ain't like I'm talking like this was just easy. And nah, bro, I'm still at it. People be like, man, man, I ain't going nowhere. This is what I do, bro, every day. I'm totally committed.
So when you, because I can let OG really spit game for a minute, but I'm gonna try to keep it semi-structured.
Keep it down, yeah.
So how did you wind up? So you said you was on your way to Juvenile. I want to go back here. So you're on your way to Juvenile.
I like all that.
Huh? No. I'm just trying to give him an idea of where it happens. So you get out. We gonna skip all the nonsense. Obviously, you know what it was. Some point now, you like, all right, I'm done. Y'all got it. I'm not with that. I'm pushing forward. I'm headed forward.
So okay, this is when I realized it. So I did the Juvenile stuff as a kid, right? I was a kid. 13, 12, 13. But as I started getting towards 18, I already had my mind made up that I'm not going to live this kind of lifestyle forever. Like, I'm just here now. So once I realized, hey, wait a minute, everybody around me going to jail and getting killed. I'm like, man, that ain't gonna be my life. A choice. I made a choice in my head. I'm like, whatever I gotta do, I don't want people to think this, people think that, about your decisions. That's always gonna be. A lot of people was like, man, why would you do this? Why would you do that? Why did you just leave the hood? How you just gonna do that? But now that I'm older, most of those people be like, man, how did you know? Man, you left the hood in the 80s. How did you do that, man? Like, I just made a choice, man. Again, once I seen that I had other choices from the TV and from sitting on the bus, looking out at people living their life, young people with cars and all that, man, I'm like, man, I can live a different life. I just knew it. And I just trusted in that, man, and I just stayed with it. It wasn't like nothing was easy. I still had people dying in front of me, this, that, and the other. I had everything. All the trauma you could imagine I done had. I didn't even have a 3-year-old daughter to pass. So it's like, man, I done had just one trauma after the next, man. But it's just, again, I knew my goal. I knew I wasn't going to, change up. I knew that I feel like I'm the one that's going to change the financial face of my family. That's my purpose here on this earth. So it's like, it is what it is. I'm going to get up every day with that.
So what was the first endeavor?
My first endeavor was, when I moved to Arizona, I was doing Ron's handyman service. I was doing everybody's stuff, man. I started they had this magazine called Penny Saver. People ain't gonna know what that is, but it was a magazine that used to come. It was a newspaper used to come in the mail, just like all them coupons you get. But this one was specifically for people who wanted to save money, right? Kind of like, it would be like a Craigslist, but on paper now. So I would spend like $500 on an ad. I don't even think it was that much. I think it was like $100 a month, something like that, about $150. Man, people would call me, man, I would go do jobs. I would make like 8, 9, 10,000 off of that ad, right? I'm like, man, and I didn't know nothing about advertising. I just used to read the classified ads in the newspaper. People probably don't know what that is, but it used to be all paper. So I just took a chance and ran an ad. Hey, handyman service, I could do this, I could do this, I could do that. Man, I would get to these jobs and I might start off doing the tile. Next thing you know, I'm remodeling the bathroom. Next thing you know, I'm remodeling the kitchen. So, and I was doing all this physically myself. I remember not even knowing how to do tile. And I had an older guy, go back to the mentor stuff, even though it wasn't a good mentor, but at the time, it served its purpose, right? So I would get the jobs and bring him over. Hey, man, how I do this and do this right here. He like, man, just lay it down like this, lay it like, and he looking like, man, you be getting these jobs, huh? I'm like, yeah, man, but I'm saying to myself, I know you kind of scandalous, but I'm going to go ahead and just let
I'm learning. It's like free game at this point.
I'm learning, right?
It's free game.
Now, how I even got into construction, let me bag up. I started Ron's handyman service. I wanted to be off the street so bad. I'm in Arizona. It's 118, 119. This guy introduced me to a guy doing construction, which was my old mentor. And he was like, man, he want to, do real estate. And he was like, yeah. He was like, what can you do? I said, I can't do nothing, man. But what I can do, again, pivoting, no money, man, I can come here and work for you free every day. He's like, man, you going to work for free? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to work for free, man. I just want to learn. Man, them people work me, man. I did. I learned how to build a house from working for free. I started underground plumbing, concrete, electric, plumbing, drywall, framing, roofing, the whole nine.
So what was your grind like then? If you working for free here, how you paying your bill?
So how I was paying my bills, I was doing what I did. We ain't gonna talk about that. We're gonna edit that. But no, I was like always the type, man, I'ma just do what I gotta do, man. And at the end of the day, I kept a little odds and ends job, but how I was mainly paying my bills, once he showed me a couple of trades, how I really would stop fooling around in the streets, all that. Bro, once he showed me a couple of trades, it hit my mind. Like, I can run these little ads and I can make money, and that's how I can take care of my family.
Jobs. And then
that's what I was doing. I was like, okay, I ain't got to be tripping or hanging out on the corner no more. I could just go right here and get it in. run these little ads. I didn't know what I was doing, bro. I would just run the ad and know the money was coming back. I knew how to flip money. I knew how to bring it in, profit this. So that's what I was actually doing, and I actually got good at it, and I started having a whole bunch of clients. So I would grab, like, different people out the neighborhood, take them with me. We going, Scottsdale, Paradise Valley. I even knew targeted. I was going where the people had the money to pay me for my services, right?
Yeah.
So I always had like a kind of business mind going on, not even knowing though at the time. So what happened, I burnt out. I had a mentor too, but he was a bad mentor, but I burnt out because he was doing what I was doing. He was working with his hands, all that. I didn't want to do that. So I left construction. By then, we had built up, like, from that free jobs and me doing this guy was really starting to trust in me. He started getting money in. Next thing you know, bro, we flipping 120 houses a year.
Oh, God.
Like, literally, like, they coming in, the bank faxing us back then, faxing us deals. Y'all take care of this, take care of that. Man, we tearing down houses, flipping houses, adding rooms. We just got real good. We had a good run at it. Man, them dudes messed off all that. Anyway, it just depressed me so bad, I left construction for like 15 years or so. And then I had just came back. Little did you know, when I was seeing you on the internet, I think we was on the Zoom call. So when I seen you on there, I had only been back like about 8-9 months.
Oh, wow.
But at that time, I had already done managed and helped build like 4 or 5 houses at that time. So everybody was looking at me like, man, how you know how to do this? Well, I had been doing it.
You make it look easy.
But what I realized though, Jay, I don't want to do the physical part of it. I just want to manage the projects. That's my light bulb. That's the key to me getting everything done. But with doing that, it comes a whole new set of skills. Now you got to have managerial skills. Now you got to know how to manage projects. You got to know how to manage money. You got to know how to do a lot of stuff. You got to manage crews. So it's a whole nother level, but I like it. You know what I mean? It fits me versus me always out working and painting and taping and hanging and nailing. I don't want to do that.
Let me go back to 08 when you was killing. How do you walk? I'm upset when I lose $20. You done lost millions.
Yeah.
Like, how do you?
So this is the mindset, bro. So it's a learned mindset too. Remember, I'm from the hood, right? So if I lose something, what happens? Crash out, as y'all say right now, right?
Right.
I was thinking that. I wasn't this age. I was your age, you know what I mean? So you know how you think, that's exactly what was going on in my head, right? Bro, I realized, I said, at this time, when I'm losing everything, losing real estate, I'm actually losing friends too because they going to the feds, right? And I'm like, it's a blessing to still be here, man. Why am I going to try to conjure up some stuff and do some stuff after losing, right? At the end of the day, bro, go back to mindset. I still got my mind. I still know how to make money, and I'm still here on the street. I'm going to roll with that. From ground zero. I'm going to just roll with that, bro.
You'd rather start from scratch, but
than to just be sitting up in a penitentiary somewhere.
And even just have breath in my body.
Exactly, bro.
Do it.
I made that decision, bro. Like, hey, man, put everything down, bro. You still here. You can do it. That was the internal dialogue going on at the time when I lost everything, including my personal house. Now, it didn't come that day. It came after me sitting up in the house saying, if they come and try to take this, that, or the other, it's on and popping. It came after that, which was probably like about a month later. And family members, close ones, begging me to just let it go. You know what I mean? So, that's what it was, bro.
Do you think through the years of, obviously you've built a mental callus of toughness, you can add in where you're from and things that you've been through, but I think that people almost don't understand that, and I tell a lot of the homies back home this, I'd argue being an entrepreneur is harder than being in the hood. because it's like you don't have a gauge of when anything is finna happen. When we did the numbers on women, I about like, man, Ron, take the damn deal.
But I love this conversation though, bro. Let's keep it right there. I know my ADHD, I just roll off on something else. But listen, what you just said, being an entrepreneur is harder than being in the hood. It's not. Let me tell you why. See, I've been your age. I know what your thinking is. You know, I tell you that all the time, right? So listen, if you in the hood with nothing strapped, bro, that's hard because that's life or death. You done. Wrong move, wrong, what they call it in the military, them things to be on the ground. What's them? Mines. Yeah, IED, whatever they call. Boy, you done, right? That's how it is in the hood. But business-wise, you read the right book, you get with the right people, man, you off to the races. So it's different. You know what I mean? You have to look at it like that. Yeah, you're going to run into stuff just like on the streets and gang life and all that. But, bro, when you run into stuff here, it's not a mistake, bro. It's a growing thing. You learning. You not making a mistake, bro. You learning. The longer you stay in, you won't make the mistakes no more. You make a mistake on the street, bro, man, that might cost you 10, 20, 15. You know what I mean? You done. Or a funeral. You know what I mean? And you all the way out the game. So, like, it's never the same, bro. You just have to keep going. You the one came up with don't fold. You know what I mean? But after you don't fold, you got to continue to roll. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is, bro. You cannot. It's no comparison. I don't care what happened, bro, because just say you just lose a little money. Then you start back over. It's a game, bro. It ain't like you just gonna be done in the streets. You done if something happen. You done, bro. Out here, you lose a little money, all right, bro. I just pivot to do something else.
I think the mentality is harder to have on this side. Like it's because if I'm in survival mode. When I'm thinking back on the times I had to be in that, I've come to the conclusions a bunch of times that I'd rather like I'll die, whatever it is, what it is. But here it's like you gotta care.
Listen, let me rewind for you. Remember I said I listened to the cassette tapes, bro, and reprogrammed my mind. Right. Bro, you gotta get to that point. That's real. You can't just sit there, bro, in survival mode. Bro, this the easiest time in the world. This the best time to be living. You can turn on YouTube and got E.T. screaming at you, bro. Straight up real. You know what I mean? You don't have no excuse nowadays, bro. I had to go buy them tapes and listen to that. I had to get in that environment. Nervous as I don't know what. The only cat in there. 1,000 people. I'm the only black cat in there. Like, nah, bro. Y'all can just turn on that in the privacy of wherever you at and listen to positive. You have to fill your mind up, bro, with a whole different realm. That's the key. You're going to always be in survival mode if that's all your mode is every day. You got to change the mode, right? So if you change that with knowledge, bro. You change that with information, bro. We're in the information age. There ain't no excuse. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the beauty of having somebody older and talking to somebody younger, because it's like y'all don't understand what y'all have, bro. This is the best time to be living.
I tell him this all the time, but it's interesting because you got like 25 years on me.
Yeah. So, probably 20.
Yeah, stupid. Dude, I can't stand this dude, man.
That's the nephew. No, he the uncle. I'm the nephew.
Get on my nerves. But it's interesting because I tell him, like, when we grew up, especially like, you know, I grew up in the 90s. All of our daddies went to jail. I mean, a choice few of us, but is mass incarceration. So we don't got we all we had. Like we growing up, I remember in high school, we looking to each other on adult grown men issues, because ain't no grown man there to teach us how to do it. You know what I mean? Like, our big homies is 3 years, 4 years older than us. And then as you get older, you realize, like, you don't know what the hell you doing either. We all lost. So it was interesting that I found him when I was 30 years old is when I met Ron. And it's changed the dynamic of I'm looking at things that I'd never seen before. Like, dang, I didn't even think about it like this. Or even emotional control. when I've called him and flashed out, and most people, you know, oh, he Jay tattoos, buff, whatever. He don't care. He be like, you bipolar. Big homie called me bipolar, bro. I said, what? I'm not bipolar, dog. But it's a level of like, it hits you like, hold on, I need to chill and really, I need to think my way through this, opposed to lashing out the way that I know I can and use violence and force and not necessarily violence, but intimidation or whatever. So I've even argued, like, you've taught me emotional control on a level that I don't think I've ever. So, like.
But see, he cheating himself. I be telling him, I'm just like, I be laughing at him most of the time when I say, because I do the same thing. I'm not nowhere near perfect, bro. I do this. I have the same blow up. It's just funny to hear him do it because he do it a lot. And I'll be like, hey, man, I'll be learning from that too, because then now it's a chance for me to figure out I should be doing it and tell him how I deal with it. That's the real of it, though. He be being hard on himself, though, but it ain't that bad.
Hey, OG called me bipolar. I said, hey, man, I'm not bipolar. But nah, I really value it because, again, like I was talking about on my podcast, a black father seeing that another, or a black son, seeing a black role model or a black, you know, somebody that looks like you that's thriving outside of the realm of sports, gangbanging, music, like I was blown away. So let me tell you a true story. Ron comes, me and my wife are trying to figure out development. AJ, you need to buy this lot. Don't buy this lot because the market gonna shift. You don't want to pay this. Ooh, I listen. Everything he said, if I'm lying, I'm flying, comes true. I don't buy the crazy expensive lot. I buy the $90,000 lot. Market shifts. Sure enough, our land goes up crazy. And he like, come out and see what we building so you can see what I'm talking about. Gives me the parameters on what to build. For all y'all that want to build, flat, water, power, if you got it, buy it if it makes sense, if the profit margins are there. We go to Arizona City, me and my wife. Now, my wife works warranty customer for Lancy, so she sees bad houses every day. That's her whole job, is to go look at terrible houses that these big builders do and just, this is what we got to fix, this trade, get out here, blah, blah, blah. A lot of you not. We walk into Ron's house, and I'm like, oh, this is another level. Like, you would think this man has a 100-man crew, a $1 billion budget. It is a top-tier quality house. You feel the house when you walk in. I asked, like, what? Like, I'm blown away because he's one person. I'm like, ain't no way. And he breaks it down like, oh, yeah, they build 2x4, we do 2x6. They do this type of insulation, we spray foam. They do this type, we do this. Like, the little details. And I've read enough books and been around enough successful people to know that success is in the details. He don't cut no corners. We walked into a house that wasn't even drywalled, people. It didn't have a door on. I don't even think it had a door on it yet. It's like 90 degrees outside. We walk in the house. It's automatically cooler because they spray foam. He sealed the bottom for the. I'm like, what is going on? Spray foam the garage. I'm like, what are we doing? But it's a different level. It's a different level. And in that moment, I realized, like, he's not just running his mouth. And I'm used to a lot of people that's, oh, I'm an OG and I'm older and I'm this. But you ain't got nothing to show for why you saying you an OG. You just older. You just older, bro. And just because you older don't mean you really walk it how you talk it. There's a lot of y'all weirdos out there that do that. And y'all be misguiding these kids, bro. But the reason I call him OG, because everybody know me. I'm not one to be like, oh, this is my big dog. I've been the big homie for a lot of years because I ain't had nobody guiding me. I did this myself. This is one of the first men I've ever been like, yeah, that's my big dog, bro. And I sit back and I let him talk because he really walk it how he talk it in a real way. Like, really guiding me and my family to a position where I could be a better husband to my wife. I can be a better father to my child. Jay, you tweaking. This is how you got to look at it. Real life. And he be so shocked because he said, when you grew up, that's how it was. everybody looked after everybody.
Most of the time, yeah.
And now with us, it's just like, it's a free-for-all.
Yeah, people do the same thing with me, though. I appreciate you saying that, but, like, people do the same thing with me, bro. Like, when I was growing up, bro, they see something in me, bro, and they guide me a different way. Like, I've had that. So I know now to experience that, like, I'm going to tell you a name. This is just one of the guys, his name Dirtbike Fred. Now, I had no idea that he do that for everybody because, you know, it was two of us, he was teaching us stuff. You know, he said, you know, one time I went to jail and he was like, where you been, man? I'm like, I was in jail. He was like, what the fuck you doing in jail? I'm like, man, I needed some money, man. I did a robbery, this, that, and the other, right? I'm like 12, 13. Like, hell no. You bring your ass over to my house, bro. I'm going to give you all the money you need. You stay your ass around me. That's how he was, right? Man, this man been married over 40 years. He just, that movie 1992, he just went on that with Tyrese, bro. He done did the same thing for Tyrese. You know who Tyrese is, right? I'm looking at the YouTube, Tyrese like, yeah, man, Fred used to tell me, what you doing? And been over and kicked me in my, he said, man, that man kicked me into $1 billion fucking dollars, man. But see, we had people like that. He wanted to live in legend. Like, one of many, though. A lot of guys around there, you know, taught me that. Now, this straight out of Watts. So, it's not the norm for me to see somebody like you and be like, hey, nah, man, you going the wrong direction, but you there, so just go this way. So that's where that come from, man. It's like we had a community. We still do. There's still cats around, but you got to be somebody that's trying to do something. Obviously, Fred seen something in me, was like, nah, bro.
What was the turn with us, with black people? What was the turn to where, like, because I don't remember having
The turn started in the 60s, bro. So, like, you got to remember, like, I grew up where it was like all the men went to work, steel-toe boots, lunch pail, little hat, right? Friday, they get paid. So I used to get paid, too, because this is what I used to do. I used to take their trash out. It was Thursday night. So I knew Friday, they'd be happy when they get up early in the morning. The trash already out. I used to be seeing them putting it out before they go to work, the men, right? So when they come home, they like, man, hey, I know they happy. They got their check. It's payday. Man, come here. Give me a quarter, 50 cents. Man, you did, man. Good job. Man, you want to cut my yard? Yeah, I'm going to cut that too. So that was my little hustle, right? I'm like 7, 8. So after that, this is like early 70s, you know. But I'm noticing like they start losing their jobs. Now they like going up to the liquor store, drinking wine, hanging out, you know, and I used to go up there with them because remember I had this relationship with them because I'm, you know, taking out the, you know, they black men talk to you back then if you was a kid, right? So they started having to be up there at the liquor store because their wives was getting welfare and they couldn't come home. They couldn't be in the house in order for the wife to get the check. Now, if you start looking now, that was the early 70s that I seen as a kid. Then the 80s hit, you know, you had the whole crack epidemic. But prior to that, you had the heroin epidemic. It's breaking down the family, bro. Like every decade. The 90s, you got the mass incarceration. Now look where we at. So it's like now people don't even respect men. I grew up seeing respectable men taking a whole check to their wife. I grew up seeing that. They working hard, whole check to their wife. They get a little bit, go get a little wine or whatever. They was solid. Long as they family was taken, they was good, bro. So like nowadays, it's incredible, bro, how just disenfranchised we are. It's just like, and it's sad, but at the same time, those of us who know and those of us who trying to really do something, all we can do, bro, is just reach the person closest to us.
So it becomes, because I've even noticed it with my small community that I have.
Yeah.
Like, we've started to build one another to the point where it's bleeding into our babies.
Exactly.
You know, and I think it's one, like, because my stance on it is you know me, I'm like, we finna max it, 100 million. We going to the moon.
That's only a money goal, though, bro.
But I'm saying because that provides the resources to really open up doors none of us have ever seen before.
Not really. It might provide you to spend the whole 200 million. So you got to look at it from a whole. So at the end of the day, People can say what they, you know how people say, what you done, what you done, what you done for the neighborhood, whatever, right? At the end of the day, bro, anybody that come close to me that's doing what I do, I try to help. And that's like a gift and a curse. Because some people I help, it hurt me. So I got to pay attention like, hey, man, I can't do this because it's going to backflash on me some kind of way. And how that happens is you may tell a person to do something or something you already know, one of them doors I'm talking about I already been through, stairs I done already been up. You tell them to go that way, and they turn around, run down the stairs and tell you was wrong. They ain't even go all the way to the top. So it's like now you got to explain, again, to go back to mindset, bro. So I only deal with the mindset. Like when I seen you on Zoom, I could see your mind was ready. I can work with you. Only question I had just from seeing you on screen, not in person, was, will he listen, though? He a young cat. Will he listen, though? And once you, I told you, man, that's the only thing. If you listen, bro, I really don't want to tell you because I don't want you feeling like I think I know everything I got to tell you. I don't want to do that. And I explained that to you. You was like, yeah. No, I understand. And that was it. So we just started kicking it after that. Then I'm like, he don't give himself enough credit, in my opinion, because this man is 30 years old.
I'm 31.
Real live, well, he's 15 twice. He's a real live family man, though. That's unheard of at his age. And he's been doing it for 8 years. So to me, he's successful. To him, he need 100 million. To me, he very successful. So I can work with that, bro. That's how that go.
First of all, I'm 31. Okay?
Nah. 15 and a half twice.
But nah, you know what it is. With that is like, in my mind, I knew. As soon as I found out Zion was coming, big dog, it was like, all right, I know you're not going to be raised here. You know what I'm saying? So I need to figure out a way to at least give you more advantages than I had to get you to a spot where you could be decent, you know? And, you know, we always laugh about the money goal. It's like, I don't know what the number is. I really don't. But I know that there's opportunities that are associated with money, and I understand that, you know, there's certain people in this world that have advantages because of the decisions that, you know, their parents made, and they don't have to see the same things. And it all comes with pros and cons, and I understand that. But one thing I haven't seen is the community of black people all together, and there's not this mentality of like, oh, if he start winning, I'm hating. Because even when I left to the military, we had, like, I had a small group of homies, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to join the military. I'm going to go get this bread and woo. I go and do it. The homie called me like, yeah, bro, they talking like, oh, you flexing and you think you this and you think you that. And I'm like, I'm confused because I'm like, when I come back home, I just did what I said we was going to do. I just kept my end of the bargain, bro. I kept my end of the bargain. How am I flexing when you didn't bust a move, homie? You stayed home. And now the problem is you mad at me because you decided to go down the stupid trail, bro. When we all had the same conversation. We all had the same conversation. So it's always heartbreaking to me, but the homies that I have with me today are the ones that are like, nah, bro, I feel you. I'm with it. And we're trying to navigate each other's paths as a collective because it's like, all right, if we do this, then we can get here. If we do this, because we talked about, I think it's either the Asian or the Indian families, they all live in the same house. Yeah, rent, $800 for all of us.
No, they live in a hotel. Cash flow is there, bro. You know I got a friend like that. So, like, this is live, first-hand information. But we got to understand this, man. I had the same problem, too, man. It's been like, it's always that, you know, like, so when you change your life like that, man, and you leave the hood, we love the hood, bro. Like, that's just a natural thing, right? And it don't matter. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, man, you showing them, bro, what they could have done, and it's painful. You know what I mean? Like, they know you came from where they came from. And instead of looking at it like, hey, man, you got this, you got that, they project that pain on you, bro. So that's how they move. So it's like, but if you was to say, that's fine, man, you could do the same thing. I've tried all kind of stuff, like, but a lot of times, man, unfortunately, man, everybody they just don't get it, or they get it too late, bro. And that's the thing that'll hurt you trying to help people. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you can't do nothing about that, bro. Like, they have to come at the time they come. We always hear open arms, when a cat get his mind right and want to do something, but the first thing they think, I need money. Like, they just think they going to start with the money. Like, you going to start right where the money at. Forget the 2 years we've been grinding and going and scraping, and, they don't want that part. They want the money, the end result, bro. That's the problem.
With that, though, if you provided that, so let's say where we are. Let's say, because you on the way to something crazy. I ain't going to reveal everything you got going, but this man cooking. Let's say we get to a position, because I'd argue 5 years is going to be very, very different.
One.
Word.
I'd argue one.
Word. You heard what he said. Word. But so you get to a position where the money becomes what it is. But now, like I said, like, because the money is here, it allots the opportunity. Like, I ain't gonna say nobody's name, but you and I talked about certain individuals that are in that position. When they see, oh, he's struggling, well, give me the deal and I'll give him $500,000 to help him build a deal. Like, where do you leverage, like, being that open to a person and letting him, because I'm gonna keep it 100, and I don't know if you want me to say it, but I'm gonna say it.
You can't.
Nah, I gotta say this, big dog.
No, say what you say. I'm saying you can't leverage that kind of money with somebody who has never seen that.
That's real. But let me tell you, my women deal was falling apart. I'm like, yo, I'm done. OG and his wife bring the money I need. I'm not gonna tell you how much it is, but it's hefty. They bring the money I need so we can fund this deal and get this thing moving. We close on this thing this week or something like that.
So that's true. But what he don't understand, and it's not me, we have partners that trust that I'm going to get it done. So I let him lean on that. They trust me, and of course I trust him, so I just put that down to him.
Never,
that's how that happened.
Never in my life has anybody like granted, I've had, there's family members that are close to us that are like, we believe in you, here's some money. Friends close to me, I believe in you, here's some money. But it's falling apart. I've known Ron 2 years, 3 years maybe. Not on the same amount of time I've known the family members and the close friend that I have that gave me some money. So that's where it was like, okay, he really lived this community thing. He really lived his, like, we help each other out thing. Like, it was a whole different thing. But I'm saying to you, my question is like, if we have to get there to that monetary level to where all that becomes an easy, and it's not like you said, it's not like I made a decision 15 minutes ago that I'm a developer. Let me get $1 million. I'm going to go build this 28 unit.
No, bro, it started on the rooftops in Arizona at 120 degrees weather, bro. That's where it started. Cats ain't trying to hear that, bro, and no pay for it. So what you see today is a product of that. And at the same time, man, all I'm doing is leveraging. You seeing it as me and my wife, but this is leverage of me starting, working for construction for free, learning how to do it at a high level, and now people trust me. And you say it's just been 2 years, bro, but we've been in the trenches together. Like, most people don't get down and dirty like we have, bro. We talk almost every day. Like, we get in it. We end it. Like, I see you. Like, you ready. Like, I always tease him and be like, nah, I'm the dude shooting over the top of your head because, he military. So it's that type of thing, man. We have to be like in the trenches. I know what you built out of. Even when you think you ready to quit, man, we all be ready to quit. But at the end of the day, bro, you had enough in you, bro, to start this stuff, bro, and to hang in there, bro. Like, that's cool, man. And then really, we ain't talking enough about it, bro, but he has a beautiful wife, bro, that's like loyal to him, man. people come and see people doing development and real estate and all that, man, it's a different thing. His wife was like, nah, I need to talk to your wife because this guy is doing all this. I need to know if this is real. Like, if we going to be able to make it, because this dude got all these big goals and dreams, and they worked that out, bro. That had nothing to do with me and Jay. The two women worked that out, and we doing what we do. Man, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I see it from a different level.
Yeah. What do you think, like, after all this is said and done? Because I know you said stuff before, like, I'm gonna die with my boots on.
I ain't trying to die though.
I know.
That's just a metaphor. But what I mean is, Jay, I'ma always work, bro. Regardless of thing, it's just gonna be working on my terms, bro. Like, if I want to go somewhere and build out of the country, I can do that. I want to be able to do freely whatever I want to do. If I want to start an organization, which we have one that we got to build up, it's called Winning Against All Odds. The goal for that is to teach people, young people, how to, come out of the neighborhood and do it. And one of the members was saying he want to do it without grants. So it's going to take a lot of hustle and a lot of grind to do that.
Yes, it is. Where do you see yourself in 10 years then? Like, what does it look like?
I see myself in 10 years surrounded by Jays, like at least 10 of them, one a year. And I'll be laughing, but I'm serious. And they real productive, and we all productive in different ways, like it would be nice to see a Jay in my position and me doing something different. And then he striving to get into that next position, like we just trying to, everybody moving up the line, like, so let's say if he making 100,000 a year, I'm making 200, I'm looking to get him to the 200. And I go to the 300, he get to the 300, I go to the 400, and so on and so forth. That's what I'm looking for, a chain reaction.
Building Wakanda.
Success.
Yeah, building Wakanda. Word. This dude is the truth. Like I said, I've met a lot of people, and a lot of people have ran their mouth, and even you internet gurus that think y'all got these courses, like y'all run y'all mouth, bro. But not a lot of people really like walking like they talking, and a lot of people like me feel the same way, man. Like a lot of people like me, like you've indirectly changed a lot of people's lives just by knowing me, because I run and I tell all the game you were giving me, and I say it so good you'd have thought I made it up. What? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I was through with it for No, it's funny.
Hey, but that's impact, man. And that's something that I learned a couple of years ago from teaching the class, man. I didn't realize the impact, because like I do this every day and I was doing it off the internet. It wasn't really an internet thing for me. I like the internet, but it's like I'm a doer, man. I just kind of like to physically do it, and the internet is a heck of a vehicle, man, to get your name out there and get people to understand who you are. But the impact is incredible, man, when you're doing the right thing for right people, man.
We talk all this grind stuff, but what do you do to unwind? What do you do to chill? What do you do? What does Ron do when he burnt out?
So for me, I don't drink, smoke, none of that, right? I drink plenty of water. So what I do, my thing is movies, right? So like I can just sit down and watch movies, man, and just kind of relax my mind. That's how I actually unwind. And the biggest thing for me is just traveling, traveling to where I'm so far off, everybody sleep in the daytime, and I'm up and my phone not ringing. But I'm going to get to a point to where I don't even take my phone. So that's how I unwind.
All that damn water like you a whale.
The cruise is the best because it's the cheapest, and then your phone turn off when you get to a certain point. But technology catching up now, you can buy Wi-Fi and still be connected. The key is to disconnect, because like I traveled last year for a month, and I was able to read 2 books a week because I wasn't having no technology and all that kind of stuff. So like that's the key. You got to disconnect. So like you grinding and grinding and grinding. That's where when Jay talk about he bipolar and all that, it's just because his ass ain't took no break.
It's coming, okay? He be trying to get me on a cruise ship, and I'm like, look, if it start going down, who's saving us, man? Who's saving? Look, he went on a cruise one time. This man sent me all the pictures of the water. Like, you scared? Look at all that water. Look how
beautiful water, though.
It was nice. It was nice. Now I told my mama want to go on a cruise, and I told Morgan I'm gonna take her.
Should,
so
bro.
I think
you should.
Probably some here real soon. We gonna go. We gonna boogie.
You can't talk about $100 million, bro, and won't spend $1,000 on a cruise.
Don't be trying to look. Look, man. Hey.
For your whole family, by the way.
Hey, don't look, man. Don't be trying to do me on my own show, bro.
All right. Respect.
Nah, but like literally though, like, and the reason I wanted Ron on here for real is he gives me game all the time, and what I love about it is, like I said, like, I know a lot of people sometimes when I can get wild up and I get frustrated because life get real, and a lot of my dogs is like this. Like, we all look intimidating, like, you know what I'm saying, and we don't ever necessarily get what we need to hear because it's just this go, go, go. And this is the conversation I actually had with one of my homies last night. I was like, his son gonna be like 6'5". James, shout out to you, bro. His son gonna be like 6'5". And I told him, I said, without you being there to guide and direct that, he gonna be out of control. Because how do you control a 6'5" kid that doesn't know how to control his emotions, somebody that's afraid to tell him what it is? Like, you won't have a guide for that. And there's only two places people like that wind up. I can name you plenty of people that are super intimidating that are in a casket right now or in a jail cell. So the reason that I really value Ron is he didn't know me from Adam. He wasn't intimidated by me. He wasn't afraid to tell me the truth, regardless of how. He ain't know how I was gonna act out. Now he tell me he only got one good fade left, and I ain't gonna be the one to test it. I'm gonna let him have it. I don't know. I ain't gonna be the one to test it.
I'll be working out now. I ain't weak now. I ain't weak.
He said he got one good
I was surprised you.
one good hard fade left. So I'm gonna let him have. I'm gonna let him keep it in the bank account. I ain't gonna let him withdraw that. But I appreciated it because you need to hear that. You need to hear that real. You need to hear that truth, especially on my young men watching this that have a desire to grow and a desire, like, understand. You looking at somebody across from me, and Ron, who has lost a baby, like I couldn't imagine losing a child, who has lost millions of dollars to real estate, who has had, you didn't even talk about your carpet cleaning business, but has made money, carpet cleaning business. But it's from that environment where the only answers or the only outcomes, is dead or in jail. The only outcomes from that. So for him to overcome all of that, to now get to a point where, how many development you've built?
I built a lot of stuff, but we were just talking about the last 2 years. I've managed probably like 8 to 12 properties last 2 years.
Getting them up and getting them sold. Like, and for y'all that don't fully understand how development works, bro, it took me 8 months to get a permit. 8 months. Like, then you gotta account, man, I'm not gonna go into, it's a lot to build a house, y'all. It is listen to me. It is a lot to build a house. There is money that you don't understand you need to spend until it's time to spend it. Like, there is so many things that go into it. So for him to say he's done 12, you just watched LeBron drop 40 in the NBA game. If you are the developer, like, this is not a team that he by himself. You just watched LeBron drop 40 in the NBA game. It look easy when LeBron do it. It's not when you got to get on the court and do it. So I value Ron a ton because, like I said, he really walk it how he talk it. And it's the game that comes out of his mouth. You should be taxing about $10K per. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. My last question to you, though. What do you tell the young man that's watching this right now? Let's say he's made it out of, let's say he's not even from the hood. Let's say, he's just a regular kid, whatever, single mom, whatever. But let's say he's running in the walls. He's running in the walls. He's reading let's say he's reading those same books. Let's say he's trying to utilize his resources with the ET, and he's trying to better himself, but he just keeps hitting walls. What do you tell him?
He's not really hitting walls. He's just learning. At the end of the day, like, you're going to make mistakes. It's all learning. I don't get here not working for free, not losing money, not having to get control of my emotions, not having to come back from tremendous losses. I don't get here. Those are all walls, but you got to keep going. Like, I'm living proof of it. You just have to keep going, man. Regardless of what happened to you, you have to keep going. And the sooner you can get somebody to help guide you, that's less brick walls you have to take. That's it.
Can you use your analogy that you told me about getting out of line?
Oh, okay. So, like, if you're going after something, like I tell Jay all the time, because he came to me, I want to be a GC. I'm like, for what? You know what I mean? He looking at me like, huh? But man, I'm a manager of projects, bro. GC ain't even really what I do. I'm not that, bro. I manage jobs. I'm a superintendent. So that's the first problem you do it wrong. So I was explaining to him, like, you want to stay in line, bro. If you're going to pick GC, stay in that. If you're going to pick development, as you call it, stay in that. If you're going to pick Airbnb, stay in that. If you're going to pick podcasts, stay in that. You can't keep jumping out of line, because at the same time you jumping out of line, you starting over every time. So you have to stick with what you're doing. Had I jumped out of line in real estate like I have before, but I stayed in line. I've been in line with real estate now since probably 2005. I didn't get out. I stayed through the recession, losing all that. I stayed. I never got out. So now, what's that? 20 years later, now people like, hey, man, I can say, hey, man, I need to help Jay. Can you loan me this money, man? I'm going to do the project. I'm going to be in full control. Yeah, that's because I stayed in line. People ain't going to let you do nothing if you ain't got no reputation for doing what you're supposed to do, and they can come see the product, you know? So that's the difference, man. You got to stay in line, and that's what I be trying to tell Jay. Now, let me speak to the guy that's 6'5", because that kind of moved my spirit a little bit, the young kid. So we have to understand, man, it's just the way it is. He's 6'5". How old is he?
He's gonna be 6'5". He's young though.
How old is he though? He's big,
10.
obviously.
He's 10. He's like 5'4".
Okay, he's 10. Right now, we got to teach him, hey, man, you consider a grown man to the world. You consider a grown man, bro. Like, right now, at 10. Because you big, and you got to understand something, man. When you big and you know, melanated, I ain't going to say black, but at the same time, bro, you know how you look when you mad? Even if he just 10, but he big. Like, he look like a grown man, bro, and that's how they going to look. So you have to teach him, like, hey, man, they going to treat you like a grown man out there, even though he's a kid. You know, we know he's a kid, but you have to protect kids like that, man, because anything can happen to them. They could be somewhere and they think they're a grown man, and you know what's happening out here, man. They shooting people. So that has to be taught first and foremost, man, so that he'll understand why people treating him different, because he just his size. He don't see his size.
It's funny that you bring that up, because I do have, shout out to my dog Cam. His little boy is a freshman. I think he a freshman.
Yeah.
He is 6'5".
Yeah, you got to let him
6'5".
know he's being treated as a grown man through society, bro. It don't matter what age you is, and you have to, you know, so they'll know when they in certain situations, if you ain't around, they know, like, hey, man, they looking at me different. I don't want to be there. You know what I mean? I can't, you know, that way they'll know how to move throughout society. Unfortunately, man, we have to teach them that.
Yeah, it's I see it a lot. I see it a lot, especially in the basketball community, because these kids are giants.
Yeah.
And they be babies, bro.
Yeah,
they be
babies.
They be like,
yeah, but they don't know their size compared to the world. They playing sports. Their biggest thing is to make it to the league. They ain't thinking about anything outside the league, and that's what happened. You see dudes, you know, make it to the league still carrying guns on the internet. They ain't never realized, bro, you a giant out here, bro. You can't be, that ain't your lane no more. You need somebody to reel you back in on that. You know what I mean? You can't be like that. Like, when your son make it to the NBA, he gonna be like, well, OG at, man. That dude was, when I was playing, you know, today, man, he know what to say. You do too, as my dad, but he gonna trust that, bro. Like, if I came around and said, hey, man, what you doing? What you doing out here, over here, man? Just because you trying to keep it real, man, you an NBA player. He gonna look at me like, yeah, he right. I got to go, man. That's my dad friend. I got to go. That's how it is, bro. When you get them young and they see, like, hey, man, it's a different way to live. Because he don't look at me as a bank. He look at me as like a businessman. He don't never know I came from the streets or nothing. He probably do, but he ain't looking at me like that right now.
He gonna know after this video.
Yeah, that's cool.
Wow.
But at the end of the day, he sees me as your friend that we doing something positive. We not doing nothing negative. He can see that, bro, at his age, even though if he can't articulate it, he still see it like, nah, whatever he doing now. If I was to like compound it and pull up in a Bentley, he really would be like, hold up, man. I got to be like that. You know what I mean? That's what they see, bro. But at the end of the day, it's the same thing if he see a house we building. Same thing if he see, you know, he like, oh, wait a minute, man. You mean tell me this could be? Because Jay good with his kids. He be breaking this stuff down to him, which is he don't realize how powerful that is. They're going to be 17, 18, probably like, look, I got the money for this, I got this or whatever. He don't realize that, but you putting good stuff in your kids.
That's real. Nah. Yeah, man, like I said, we could go on this for hours. Like me and OG be, man, because I'm like, let me get my, but look, I'm going to make this a part one because he going to be back for sure. Because there's a lot of things that are going to happen.
They're going to be asking how to get in touch with me. You can give him my email.
Yeah, he be trying to be social media incognito.
No, I ain't, bro. I like social media. I'm coming. I'm on social media. They can find me. They was digging me up last time I did an interview.
Look, how about this? I'm going to sit down with him. I'm going to get all his socials together. I'm going to get him. We're going to get him turned up.
Contact Jay if you try to contact me.
Yeah, we're going to get it turned up. But look, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Always, if you found value in this video, share it, comment, subscribe. It goes wonders. Goal to 10,000. And Women is coming up, and that's a whole nother documentary because I'm gonna show y'all what it's really like to build this house from scratch. And there's so much stuff coming with that. So I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. OG, I appreciate you. Thank you.
No problem, man. Anytime, bro.
This is he be trying to be smooth with
this. Is just another morning we be talking.
This dude really Yoda for real. So I love y'all. Remember, don't fold.
Keep rolling.